diaphragm. This is the diaphragm which separates the trunk into thoracic cavity and abdominal cavity. And once you see the diaphragm, make sure you are going to learn the major openings of the diaphragm and structures passing through it, minor openings of the diaphragm. There is a gas specimen where you can identify all the three major openings and structures passing through the diaphragm. And this specimen, plastinated specimen, will also be placed in the spotters. So you have to look out this one, this one plastinated specimen, right? Now with this background, you can just go to this. Now what you are seeing is a part of the thoracic wall. You are seeing the thoracic wall from the inner surface. Now intercostal space we have seen outer external intercostal, internal intercostal and innermost intercostal. Now innermost intercostal on the inner surface is covered by this fascia. So you can see this fascia here. This is what we call the costal pleura. The inner surface of the thoracic wall is covered by the pleura, right? So which you are going to learn in the next class. This is the costal pleura. Now if I remove the costal pleura from the inner surface, you can see these muscle fibers are present here. This is what we call innermost intercostal muscle. Innermost intercostal muscle you are seeing from inside now. And in this intercostal space, you can see one intercostal nerve is present here. You can see that what I am holding is the intercostal nerve, right? Along with this intercostal artery and vein also will be present. And in this specimen, not only innermost intercostal muscle, this is the sternum, what you are seeing in the front of the chest. And from this attached to the sternum, you can see these fibers, what I am showing here. These are all the sternocostalis fibers, part of the transverse thoracic. Sternocostalis fibers. Sternocostalis muscle, right? And on either side of the sternum, you can see there is an artery and vein running here. This is the artery which we call it as internal thoracic artery or internal memory artery. This is coming from costocervical trunk, runs on either side of the sternum and gives two anterior intercostal arteries in each intercostal space. So this is each intercostal space, upper 6 intercostal space, I have told in the class. Each intercostal space has got one posterior intercostal artery and two anterior intercostal arteries. Anterior intercostal arteries and to the upper 6 intercostal space comes from this artery, that is the internal thoracic artery or the internal memory artery. And lower places it is coming from superior epigastric artery, right? So this internal thoracic artery or the internal memory artery runs from all the way from the inlet of the thorax, and at the 6th intercostal space it is going to divide into superior epigastric artery and musculophrenic artery. So terminal branches of internal thoracic artery at the 6th intercostal space, it is into superior epigastric and musculophrenic artery. So this is the artery in earlier days they used to use for bypass surgery. When there is a coronary artery blocked, they cut this artery and do the grafting for the coronary artery. So this is the artery of choice, internal thoracic artery, right? So in this specimen you are seeing internal thoracic artery, innermost intercostal muscle, and you can also see the sternocostalis muscle. And from outside you can see the external intercostal muscle is present here. As you put your fingers in the apron pocket, it is directed downwards, forwards and medially. This is the direction of the external intercostal muscle. Opposite direction is the internal intercostal muscle. Right? So this is how we are going to identify these intercostal muscles. Now in this specimen, what you are seeing is the posterior part of the intercostal space. Posterior part of the intercostal space. In each intercostal space, posterior aspect, I told one posterior intercostal artery, intercostal vein and nerve will be there, vein, artery and nerve. So this is the neurovascular bundle where you find vein, artery and nerve. You can see the posterior intercostal vein, artery and nerve. All the posterior intercostal artery drains on the right side to the azygous vein. This is the azygous vein what I am holding here. And this is the sympathetic chain. What you are seeing on this side, that is the sympathetic chain. We have studied the relation of the neck of the First rib. When I took the section of the inlet of the thorax, I marked neck of the first rib and show four structures are related to the neck of the first rib. Sympathetic chain, first posterior intercostal vein, superior intercostal artery, and first thoracic nerve. Right? So very important for the exam, that is structures forming relation to the neck of the first rib. Right? So one of the structure is the sympathetic chain, what is shown here. Then this is the structure which is present in the outlet of the thoracic cavity. This is the diaphragm, the entire muscle fiber of the diaphragm. Right? So here you are going to see there is an aorta is present passing through the diaphragm. This is the aortic opening, through the aortic opening. This is the aorta, and there is a part of the esophagus is present which is cut off. This is a part of the esophagus passing through the esophageal opening. There is a specimen. It can show all the three major openings and structures passing. Please go through the specimen. Right? So that is what we are supposed to know about this intercostal thoracic cage and intercostal muscles as well as diaphragm and the inlet of the thorax. Okay? Go through these specimens because again next week we are not going to keep all these ribs again. So we will come up with the very important structures about the lungs. So make sure you learn and identify